Really what we're talking about is self-care, and we want to be able to make choices towards a healthier life. But first we need to become aware of things that may not be allowing us to be very healthy. So that's really what we're talking about. Today we're going to talk about water and the role of water in our bodies and really how important it is. It is key to all bodily functions. Our blood is 83% water. It's important for circulation. It's important for assimilation of nutrients, for digestion of the food we put in our bodies, and for the elimination of the waste products. It's also very, very important for temperature control. And I mentioned this in many of my presentations. The one thing our body does its entire life and we aren't even aware of, and we expend the most energy doing, is keeping our bodies at 98.6 or 37 degrees centigrade, maintaining an even body temperature. So the role of water is very, very paramount. It's important for us all. Let's see. I think a lot of times we make choices for beverages for everything but water. And I kind of say that with tongue in cheek. And the reason I think is that I think we need to change our perception of water, and I think that will help us to understand how important it is. It's not just a beverage, it is a vital nutrient. So think about that for a minute. If you're thinking of something that's a beverage choice versus our most vital nutrient, which water is, I think you'll pay a little bit more attention to it. You know, a lot of times that it's estimated 75% of us suffer from chronic dehydration. There are a lot of symptoms associated from fatigue to joint pain and headaches, high blood pressure. A lot of times maybe weight gain. And the reason being is sometimes that we feel hungry, but actually what we are is we're really just thirsty. So we go for a high carbohydrate food or a sugary food to curb that craving, when really water would probably do that. You know, many times we make choices for beverages which are actually dehydrating as opposed to hydrating us. And that's not a healthy choice either. So I think, first of all, and I will reiterate, I think we need to change the way that we think of water and change that perception from just a beverage choice to an essential nutrient, and our most essential nutrient. You know, we can live for decades without a lot of nutrients, but we can only live for a couple days without water. So symptoms of dehydration, let's look at this for a minute. And there's one easy little Turgor test you can do to check your hydration level. And you don't have to do this on your hand, and it's probably not the best place to do it, but you can do it on your abdomen or you can do it on your thigh. And you really kind of pinch the skin up a little bit, and how quickly it goes back into place gives you just a general idea of how hydrated you are. So if we look at some of these symptoms, again, if you're experiencing any of these, then, you know, chances are you probably need to drink more water. And I'm talking here to guests, I'm talking to Nikken consultants, and the thing that I find when I'm talking to people a lot of time is I ask them, really, how much water are you drinking each day? I had a consultant on the phone just about a week ago. And I asked this very nice lady, I said, so, you know, and Julia was her name, and she was having some joint issues and using some of our Nikken technology. She had some of our Nikken water systems. And I asked her, I said, Julia, how much water are you drinking each day? And she said, about a quart, maybe a quart and a half. And so my response really was, unless you weigh 64 pounds to 90 pounds, you really aren't drinking near enough water. And then she responded really with something kind of interesting and said, Gary, I've never been a big water drinker, and I really don't like to drink water. Once again, she was kind of thinking that as a beverage choice as opposed to an essential nutrient. And so I said, well, let me ask you, when you drink water, how do you do it? Do you go into the kitchen or whatever, fill up a big glass of water, and then chug it down? And she said, yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And I said, well, what you're doing is forcing that issue. And so I suggested to her to have good, healthy water with her throughout the day. You know, wherever you're sitting, or if you're in your car, or if you're at your desk, always have some healthy water with you. And when you're thirsty, your body will let you know, and you'll just sip on it. So again, what that does is help create a habit for better hydration. And when I followed up with her, she said, actually, my joints are feeling a lot better. And why? Because they're being well hydrated. She's actually getting the water that she needs. We have lots of water choices, and we're very lucky in this country and to have these choices. And in a lot of places I've traveled in the world, they really have very limited water choices. In some places, they spend a third of their waking day just treating or boiling water, so it doesn't, you know, make them very sick. So we're going to go through each of these, and really what we're going to be looking at is how healthy are they? Are these healthy choices for our most essential nutrient? So let's first look at tap water. And a lot of people don't choose to drink tap water, many times because of the way it looks, or the way it tastes, or the way it smells. That's an aesthetic decision. But really, if we look at this, this list on the right-hand side of the slide there, there's a lot of things in tap water, even though our municipalities do as good a job as they possibly can, that are left there. And some of them are actually byproducts of treatment with water with halides like chlorine or chloramine. The ones in the middle, the volatile organic compounds, the VOCs, trichloroethylene, trihalomethane, are extremely carcinogenic. And I don't mean that from the standpoint of you're going to drink tap water and tomorrow you're going to have a problem. But I think we have a lot of evidence that we can say over a long period of time, over decades of drinking municipally treated water, we have seen an increase in lots of different type of chronic disease and health challenges. The other thing is that in 2008, the Water Quality Association released this statement that they were detecting pharmaceutical compounds in municipally treated water systems. Now, why would that be? I think it's totally related to the fact that we fill 4.3 billion prescriptions a year here in the US. And some of that is not going to be absorbed. Some of it is going to be passed through elimination into the water and end up in our water treatment facilities. Notice that I needed a little sip of good water. But anyway, so I think this probably leads us to a question, a little humor. Next time you're at the pharmacist, ask this question: will this prescription interact with the meds already in my drinking water? And even though it's humorous, I think we need to take this seriously as well. A lot of times they will say, well, yes, we've detected these compounds in that water, but they're really at just parts per million and parts per billion. Now, let me give you a little example of something that's extremely effective in parts per billion, and that would be a birth control pill. Its activity is in parts per billion in our bodies, and it is extremely effective of shutting down one of our most basic biological functions of reproduction. So when somebody says to me, don't worry about it, that's parts per million, parts per billion, there are a lot of things that are active in our body at those levels that I think would give us cause for concern. So, if we can find a way to eliminate not only all these toxic chemicals, but these pharmaceutical drugs in our drinking water, it'd be well worth our attention to do that. So let's talk for a minute about another choice, which is bottled water. And this is a huge, huge industry, pretty much run by the soft drink industry. In fact, when people started to make little healthier choices, some years ago, a couple decades ago, and drinking less soft drinks, the soft drink company said, let's start to bottle water. Financially and in a marketing standpoint, it was an excellent idea for them. And 2016 will be the first year that bottled water sales exceed soft drink sales. So so what that tells me is people are looking for a healthier choice, but I'm not so sure that bottled water is the answer to that. It's a very poorly regulated industry. There's one person in the FDA responsible for all the bottled water. You know, a lot of bottled water really is just tap water, and sometimes that tap water is just taking through a filter system, a reverse osmosis system, and then put into that bottle. The plastic bottles are linked to lots of different health concerns, and the cost is exorbitant. You know, a lot of people think, and I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday about this, who was holding a plastic bottle of water while we were conversing. And I said, so what did that cost you? And they said, you know, it cost me about $1.75. And I said, well, $1.75 doesn't sound like much money, but I said, let me put this in perspective to you. That is 2,000 times more expensive than tap water. And there happened to be a sandwich shop across the way from where we were sitting and talking. I said, so let me give you this analogy. You go into that sandwich shop and you want a $5 or $6 sandwich. Let's say it's a $6 sandwich. That $6 sandwich is going to cost you $12,000 in the same relationship that we're looking at increase across from tap water to bottled water. Now, would anybody ever do that? I don't think so. I really wouldn't. You know, there's also a lot of environmental and ecological issues with bottled water. Those on their own should be very, very strong motivators to not make this choice. We use 35 million barrels of oil a year just to manufacture the bottles and to transport them. It's very wasteful as far as use of water. 3 liters produce 1 liter a bottle. A 1 liter of bottled water, a 3-to-1 ratio there. And we all recycle, don't we? The statistics would tell us we don't really. Only 1 in 5 plastic bottles end up in recycling. The rest end up in our landfills or in our oceans. So not really a very healthy choice. You know, the others, and we talked about tap water. There's lots of different other types of ways to filter water, and these are, you know, what you might call point of use, where they either fit on your faucet or your tap, or they come in a pitcher. Usually they're very inexpensive. They're not very effective in filtration of other than things for an aesthetic value of the chlorine that we smell, that we taste. Usually they're very effective for that, but not real effective for removing the things that we're concerned about, harmful things. Reverse osmosis virtually strips water of everything and makes it very acidic, very dead water, void of minerals. Bottled water, like I said many times, is just tap water run through reverse osmosis. Again, very acidic, very, very few minerals, if any. And of course, then we also have to add in the potential problem with all the plastics, the BPAs, and the health risks associated with that. Well water is a choice for some people. About 15% of Americans are on well water. I have a well on my property, but I have to ask what's in my well. A lot of people say, well, gosh, I have great well water. It tastes great. It's got lots of minerals. But really, what kind and what are the proportions of minerals in that well water? And many times I ask them, just take a look at the pipes in your house. That's pretty much what that mineralization may be doing to the pipes in your body as well. So in my estimation, that these, as we look at these, they really are not healthy choices. So if we were going to look at a healthy water and what a healthy water might look like, I think, or a way to produce healthy water, I think we'd want something that had a way to filter a lot of the harmful things out, an advanced filtration system. I think we would want that to meet or exceed the standards of 42 and 53. 42 is that aesthetic standard, the odor, the taste, the smell. And 53 is really the standard that says, yes, we're taking out some of these very, very harmful volatile organic compounds. We'd want to have an alkaline water, slightly alkaline at a pH of about 8.5 to 9.5. And we'd want this to help counteract the acidic byproducts that we produce on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. We'd want our water to be able to help to do that, to keep our bodies a little more alkaline, to where it functions more optimally. We'd want to add ceramics to help add minerals back to the water. Our body functions with water with minerals in it much better than it does without it. In fact, we move water across cell membranes, not to get too physiological on you, by moving ions or minerals across cell membranes, and water follows. So if we really don't have any minerals in that water, we have a much more difficult time assimilating and transporting that water into our cells. We'd want the water to have some energy, just like it does in nature. You know, when you look at, if we had any pristine environments and looked at a bubbling brook coming down off a mountain, that water would be churning, it'd be running downhill, it'd be running over rocks, actually rounded rocks. That would create a vortex, which would allow that water to pick up more minerals. It would allow it to pick up more oxygen. It would be heated by the sun, and it would have properties that the way that nature intended water to be. We'd also want to look for a system that was pretty easy to use and maintain, and really very cost effective. And this is exactly what Nikken has done with science to replicate nature with our water solutions here, with our Nikken choices. We have the waterfall on the right of your screen, and then our sports bottle more towards the center. But we do filter to standards 42 and 53, removing all those harmful things. And then also with lead, removing lead, that would be the standard 372. And these are third-party validated. I have to just mention this right now, that one of the things I appreciate most about Nikken as a scientist in my background is the validation that we have, scientific validation, certification, partnership with other organizations that say, yes, you know, here's what this product does, and here's the validation for that. And that's very, very powerful. I don't find that a lot with other systems, even with water systems that people tell me about, where they can actually show a third-party validation. We create a structured, we create that oxygen carrying capability, that structured water as nature intended. And the alkalinity is there as well, from 8 to 9.5. This system uses no electricity. The water tastes great. It's great for our environment, for our bodies, and for our wallets. Here's a little cost savings with the Nikken Waterfall system. This is based on a family of 4 that will consume about a little over 1,000 gallons of water a year. And look at what the savings can be. It can pay for itself in less than 4 months if you're going and getting bottled water. Talked with a gal just the other day whose choice was bottled water, really to pick up at a big department store in the big 5-gallon jugs, just from a standpoint of potential injury and the labor involved in moving those big jugs around. You'd think you might want to make a different choice, but from a cost standpoint, you know, that person could save about $2,500 in the next 5 years just by making a healthier choice towards water. The other thing I like to ask when we're talking about water and water choices is that, are you showering in tap water? And again, a little humor there. There's Janet Leigh in the movie Psycho, probably one of the best screams ever caught on film. And this is something that you really want to make another choice, to not bathe in chlorinated water if you can, because you're really absorbing you know, tons of chlorine very quickly. Your pores are open. It's a very, very easily absorbable compound. Goes right through your skin and those pores into your body very quickly. And Dr. Lance Wallace, the Environmental Protection Agency, says that chlorinated water from showering and baths is the biggest primary cause of elevated chloroform in our homes, which we would want to avoid as well. So the Nikken choice really here is our MicroJet shower system. Again, taking all the bad things out and making water the way nature intended it to be. Removes basically 100% all of chlorine. It's beneficial to both our skin and our hair. It has an adjustable shower head. The one thing I will say about this product is when people invest in this product and take it home and use it, it's usually the one that I get the quickest testimonial from people. It's like they call me that next morning and say, my gosh, that shower system is incredible. I mean, I didn't even want to get out of the shower. It was so great. And I would attest to that as well. It's really a very, very healthy, but a very invigorating shower. If we're away from home, the Nikken sports bottle is a great choice. You can take that with you. You can keep it with you throughout the day. In fact, mine is right behind me here, I do believe, because I have limited space on this desk. But this goes with me every day. If I'm a little thirsty, I just take a sip out of it. And it's almost, and like I said, that just becomes a habit. It becomes a habit for you to naturally be hydrating yourself. So a very, very cost-effective way to provide you with a healthy choice and keep it on the go. Again, looking at the ecological and the environmental impact of plastic bottles. On your left is 1 year of plastic water bottles, which can be replaced with one PiMag water bottle, which is environmentally safe and has actually no ecological imprint whatsoever. And the bottle and the plastics in there are designed that way to not provide that impact. So here's what I have to say about bottled water. Just say no. It's not a healthy choice for you. It's not a healthy choice for our planet. It's not a healthy choice for the descendants of our planet. I think it's, and I'll say this too, again, from a standpoint of a physiologist, I don't think we have even scratched the surface of the health implications of the plastic, the BPAs, the different toxic chemicals in that bottle and their effects on our health. I don't think we know even close to what the ramifications in the future will be elucidated to be. So again, water on the go, and I'd like to thank Mr. Sparks Johnson for this picture. It's a great one. It illustrates everything and a great healthy choice to be able to do that. To kind of sum up, our most essential nutrient, our body is mostly water. Doesn't it make just plain good common sense to give your body the healthiest water possible? And I think everybody would have to agree, yes. Don't let your body be the filter. Let technology do that for you. And the Nikken choices are the way to do that. So here's the 3 products I talked about. If you're a guest here, get back with the person that invited you on this call to see about them. They are very, very cost effective. I think you'll be very, very happy with the investment that you made in your health. Again, it's a lot of times people ask me, they say, Dr. Gary, what's the one thing I can do to improve my health? And I respond with, change the water you're putting in your body. You know, we're mostly water. We replace every drop of water in our body in a 30-day period. So it's very important that we give it healthy water. I'll finish with a couple of these slides. Now, when you look at this, everybody looks at these symptoms and say, wow, these are really problems of major, major chronic diseases. And they could be interpreted as such, but really are they? They're actually, all those symptoms are also indicative of dehydration. And you almost have to wonder, how many times are we going to our medical or our doctor or health provider and saying, here's the symptoms we have, and nobody's asking how much water you're drinking and what quality of water you're drinking. So I think we could take care of that with that. So again, science that replicates nature. This has been Water Matters. For coming attractions, next week I'll be talking about Sleep Matters at 8 a.m. On Thursday. And just to end, I would like to get a couple testimonials. I asked Sparks Johnson and Rex Olson to join us for that. And let's see where I can manage my participants here. Sparks, Rex, are you there?
Yes, Rex. Oh, Rex.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So Rex, how do you like your water system? Give me a quick testimonial of how that's helped you and your health. And if you aren't speaking, if you could please mute your line, I'd appreciate it.
I don't think he realized he had muted everyone.
I think talking over everybody. All the
I
different.
got myself out of the thing. I was looking
Okay,
at.
let me mute
Sorry.
all again. And then Rex, see if you can unmute yourself.
How's that?
That's great.
Hey, I think we figured it out. Son of a. Awesome.
Technology, man.
Yeah. Well, this is my wonderful, beautiful wife, Susie, and for those of you who don't know her, and our story began 2.5 years ago, and I'm not going to go into it because Gary will mute me and shut me off. So, but basically, the water, she was dealing with a lot of health issues, and one of the major issues was her breathing. And you don't think about water for breathing, but you made mention in your presentation about the shower system, and Gary, that's what I want to talk about here. And that, not having the chlorine and the chemicals in the water when we're taking that hot 5-minute shower just is absolutely critical. And Susie's breathing issues cleared up almost totally within 2 months. And it's amazing. So, I mean, if you are looking at this, we have to understand that water is so critical to us as a human being that everything we do with water is extremely important. So please get the waterfall, please get the sport bottle, but for gosh sakes, please, please, please get the shower system also, because that has changed our lives, and we'll never go back.
Thank you, Rex. That's awesome. And you know what? The other thing I might bring up too there when you were talking about having breathing challenges is that, you know, not only with that system, the shower system, but rehydrating your lungs and the mucosa in your lungs is very important as well. Our lungs are 83% water. So not only the shower water, but the water you're ingesting and drinking as well can have a dramatic effect on helping us breathe easier.
Yeah,
so thanks, Rex. Appreciate that. Sparks, you're the last one up on the deal, and give us your take on Nikken's water systems and what you like best about it.
Well, I love it, but can I ask you a question first, sir?
Of course you can.
How is your golf game doing down there in the emergency golf tournament?
The golf tournament is over, and thank you last week for filling in for me. Actually, my little brother won
really?
one of the flights, which was really cool. I did not win, but I had a good time. So thanks for asking.
Well, to talk about the Nikken water, it is the best thing since sliced bread. And I really have to thank Nikken. I really have to thank Nikken engineers for going into that valley where they had the manganese and the special minerals for all the water and putting that into this water system because it really is life water. It really is energized life water. And I mean, like I have one wherever I go. I have one in my office, one in my home. I made sure that my mother-in-law, because we spent some more time down there, I made sure she had one. So everywhere I go, and that brings me to the point of the sports bottle. We have, well, Gary, as you know, we have well water in this area, but we have low aquifer. So we're kind of, well, we have a lot of, cow waste. I don't know how else to say that, you know, and we have a lot of, it's a rural area around here, so we have a lot of pesticides, that kind of stuff. So as bad as our water could be, it's worse anywhere else in the world, as far as I know. Just south of Stockton, they have a lot of chloramine in it, they have a lot of salt in it, they have a saltwater intrusion. So the sports bottle, I view the sports bottle as a way of taking the PiMag, the life water, with me no matter where I go. And no matter how bad the water is, I know that my body's getting the best water. And I saw that Ben was here. I hope he's still here. And Ben, next time I see you, I'm going to give you a hug just because of your Nikken engineers. I love it that much.